Good morning. Good morning. It's such a good morning. I guess. I don't know. Okay, so it is 7 a.m. Eastern, 12 noon in the UK. And darn it, I think 10 in Australia. I don't have my other computer. My other computer has all these times. I've got uh, Australia, UK, Japan, Tokyo, and Tomsk, Russia for the Schumann. Oh, I haven't checked that out today. All right, let's see. I am so tired, you guys. I just woke up half an hour ago. I know I always complain about that, but this is the only time I can consistently do this live stream. And actually, I am a morning person, believe it or not. My my mom is a night person, and I guess I used to, as a little kid, I'd run into their room top of the morning. How irritating if you're a night person. Holy cow. Okay. So I need to turn this sound off. All right. QP, Charles. Nice to see you this morning, Joner. Guys, I didn't get a chance to. I was so tired. I was working in my storage units yesterday again. It's so therapeutic, though, to go through some of those boxes that I haven't gone through in years and years. I've moved so many times. I'll count them sometime for you. Hi, Sharkay. Good to see you. But anyway, I didn't get a chance to listen to Mandela Monday. I didn't get a chance to listen to Scott's stream. I started off with MA's stream, but I fell asleep like maybe 3 minutes in or something like that. Ugh, goodness. I haven't had a chance to look at anybody's videos yesterday to see what's going on, see what I need to be discussing. Let's see. So anyway, if you guys have something that is pressing that somebody talked about, please let me know and we can talk about it. But I got my logbook here, and I thought to start out, since I didn't know what the heck to do this morning, I would maybe go through Morning Sunshine. I know. It's not even light out here yet. Oh, it's going to be windy today, so I'm not working in my storage units. I'm working from stuff that I got from my storage units. I'm trying to organize a little bit better. Hi, Kathy. Good to see you. Sharkay says she moves 8 times in 7 years. And I bet it feels great to be at one place for 2 years, doesn't it? I know it would be for me. So anyway, I thought I'd just, since I didn't really have a chance to figure out what everybody else was discussing lately, I thought I'd just go through my logbook and tell you guys some of the changes. Like I think I kind of quit down writing everything, which irritates me because I want to keep a log of everything. But okay, so like I've mentioned stuff in the 80s that I saw, and I keep forgetting to add Alex Trebek to the name. It used to be Alec Trebek. Did it used to be Alec Trebek for anybody else? Okay. All right. So obviously I've got at the top of my list here, and I'm going to start. I found like a bunch of notebooks and like a really some cool journals that I really even hadn't written in my in my storage unit. These journals. So and these notebooks, and I'm going to start like just having like I'm going to do like a page for A, and then a page for B, a page for C for all the Mandelas, and that way, because here I just kind of wrote them down randomly, and I want to be able to look it up by the letter. So that'll be, yeah, Sharkay, it was Alec. I know it was Alec Trebek. That is so weird. And also, I think Alec Baldwin used to be Alex, didn't he? I don't know. I mean, I was so confused when, I mean, and this probably, I would say, gosh, when did I notice that change for Alex Trebek? It was, well, it was a long time ago. I'd say in the early 2000s, maybe something like that. Hi, Patrick. Hi, just me, Colleen. I hope I didn't miss anybody. If I did, hi. Sarah. Okay, so all right, so just going down through my list, I've got obviously the Bible changes. That freaked me out when I opened up. Oh, and I found a King James Bible yesterday. And I opened it up to Isaiah 11:6 just to see. I mean, I knew what it was going to say, and of course it said the wrong thing. But I had to do it, because my mom's 50-year-old Bibles, changed. So if those changed, I knew that one was changed too. But I just had to look to see for sure, and sure enough, it had changed to the wolf. Okay, so I have Bible changes, JFK, obviously for people, Berenstain. I mean, I remember this was not too long ago, about a year ago or so, and I saw Berenstain Bear's book of my nieces laying on the floor, and I thought, well, who in the world is going to have to pay for that typo? I really thought that. And I think what's creepy about that is it's the AI change, We're in the AI world, and like I've even heard scientists say E universe and A universe, like almost implying like they knew about the ME, I mean, that is freaky. Hi, Corey. Okay, so anyway, so I saw that about a year ago. I just hadn't been in a bookstore, which is rare for me, in the kids section, I guess. I mean, I'm in bookstores. I'm in used bookstores more than. I had to throw a few books out, you guys. It's so sad. I mean, I hate doing that, but I don't live anywhere near a Goodwill or anything. And I just cannot, the time and effort and the heavy lifting and crap like that um, is involved in, I just, I don't know. Plus, well, I don't really care about even getting the money for it. It's not that. It's just the fact of throwing a good book away, that's in perfect condition, Ugh, it's irritating to me, but I just have to do it. Okay, so Fruit Loops. Now, FROOT. I'm sorry, that looks so stupid. Good grief. Geography, especially, I just remember looking at a globe and thinking, what in the world? Especially South America and Australia, but of course, all the other changes too. Stoplights. Green was definitely on top for me. I mean, that is a 1,000%er for me. Jiffy peanut butter. Life is like a box of chocolates. Thinker on the forehead. Build it and they will come. Kit Kat with a dash. Now, I noticed Kit Kat about a year and a half ago or something like that. And I'm like, that does not look right. But I don't know that. I guess I put it together. Yeah, the dash was missing. Liquid plumber. Ugh. I mean, LIQDPLUMR or whatever they have it now is so stupid. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. It wasn't Cap'n Crunch, it was Captain Crunch. Oh, and the thing I remember too, about a year and a half ago, my niece was watching Mr. Rogers. And when the song came in, I'm like, what in the heck? What is that? I mean, I was shocked. I mean, I've watched Mr. Rogers since it began in the early 70s, okay? And it was always the neighborhood. And I don't know. Sometimes you have to wonder about these changes and like, does it mean something? You know? instead of just a general the neighborhood, are we in a different this neighborhood? I don't know. It's kind of scary. um, okay, so let's see, what else do I have here? Of course, Houston, we have a problem. That was a flip flop for me. JC Penney. I remember this was in probably 2014 or 15, and I used to go to JC Penney to get my hair done. And I went in, but before I went into the store, I looked up at that sign. And do you guys get the stare? Like when you know something is wrong, and all of a sudden you're just like, you. It's almost like a, I don't know. You're just looking at it, just staring at it, like this is wrong. Something about this is wrong, and you just stare at it for a few minutes. Okay, Kathy, let's see. Westworld. I have seen a couple or three episodes of that. And yes, it looks very, very scary. Captain Crunch making you hungry, Charles. That was my favorite. I don't like cereal at all. I did like Captain Crunch when I was little, and now the only thing I'll eat is either grape nuts or Bran Chex. That's the only two cereals I like. I'm weird. Um, okay, what else do I have here? Well, of course, my first one was John Deere. I remember we bought a new tractor, a combine, and I'm like, why does it have E? That was my first one. That was my first one. Hi, Rationale. Good morning. How are you? Welcome. Okay, so Colleen says yes to the stare. Yeah, it's just so weird because when you first see, like, a Mandela for the first time, it's almost like you're semi paralyzed for a minute. You're just looking at it, just staring at it, like that is wrong. That is wrong. Okay. Now, obviously, the Lord's Prayer, it was always trespasses. Now, what's great about that is that my church still says trespasses. Didn't matter if it's not in any Bible today. They still say trespasses. So they're a little bit of traditionalists, and I don't know what the deal is with that. I'm kind of afraid to talk to the pastor about stuff like this. So, okay, let's see. Obviously, Luke, I am your father. Oscar Mayer. I mean, who can forget the song from the 70s? My baloney has a first name. It's Oscar. My baloney has a second name. It's Meyer. I mean, come on. you know. Oh, thank you, Charles. Well, and of course, obviously, Nelson Mandela, yes. I mean, I know that's funny that we have the Mandela Effect and some people don't remember him dying in prison, but yeah, I do. And because I remember something about him in the news, and I'm like, what the heck? I thought he died. I was so confused. That was probably, I mean, other than the John Deere thing, that was one of the early ones for me, for sure. Billy Graham died 3 times for me. See, I'm going through my list here. Mirror, mirror, definitely. That's so stupid, Magic Mirror. I remember going to a bookstore and I saw on the main table Interview with the Vampire, and I'm like, I've read the book. Okay, I've not only seen the movie, which is awesome, but I have read that book, which is an awesome book, and I highly recommend it. But it was Interview with a Vampire. That is another 1000%er for me. I mean, I stared. That's another stare. I stared at that book for the longest time. I'm like, nope, not right. And of course, the Scarecrow never had a gun. It was always Depends. Looney Tunes with the TOO. I mean, it doesn't even make sense, TUNES. I mean, not that it has to make sense because Dilemma doesn't make sense. That's another one. And also, a lot of people talk about dilemma, but they don't talk about rhythm. Rhythm used to be with an N too. It used to be, let's see if I can, Rythmn, I believe, but I know it had an N on it. I mean, it had an N on the end of it. Henry VIII with the turkey leg. Queen of the World was definitely on the end of that song. E.T. Phone Home. It wasn't E.T. Home Phone. That's stupid. Sex in the City. The Monopoly Man monocle. Now, I used to go to the casinos in Biloxi, and they had a Monopoly game there. And that was another stare one. I'm like, what in the world? What happened to his glasses? Why did they take off his monocle? You know, I stared at that Monopoly casino game, and I'm like, why did they change that? That would take a lot of effort just to change that out. That's what I was thinking. That was probably, I would say, 2014, 2015 time frame. I like the ones where I can pinpoint exactly where I saw them. Okay, I'm just checking to make sure. I have to check to make sure my internet doesn't go out. Okay. Yeah, I wish I was an Oscar Mayer. I know, I love those old commercials. It's funny because you don't really get the jingles now like you got used to get in the 70s and in the early 80s. You don't get the fun jingles that just stick in your head forever. I mean, I can recite so many, you know, um, commercials from when I was a kid because they were just catchy jingles. Yeah, Staples never used to have that weird thing on the L. That's another one that was a weird change. Colleen. Okay, let's see. Mona Lisa, the smile's different. Febreze. Now, I noticed that one I don't think it was until 2016 in a store. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Why did they change that? I mean, I wasn't thinking of, the Mandela effect until later. I didn't realize it was a thing. But I'm like, why did they change the spelling of that? It's stupid. It was, to me, it was always, see, I watched Sesame Street, Charles, from the early 70s as well. Good morning, Andrew. How are you? And that was definitely snuffle up a guess. It wasn't uphagus or whatever other people say. To me, I mean, I've watched it since the early 70s, just like Mr. Rogers, and it was snuffle up a guess for me. Okay, so Skechers had a T for me. Definitely, there was Beam Me Up Scotty. I've seen so many Star Trek episodes, you guys, and they didn't have the gold bands either. I need to write that down in my logbook. I didn't write that down. They didn't have the gold bands on the arms. Well, or at least the frilly part of it. I know that frilly part wasn't there for sure. Flintstones did not have two T's in it. It was just FLIN for me. Going back to make sure that I gotta go back and forth here to make sure my internet's been doing okay lately. Oh, a Sinbad movie. Oh, that reminds me, my son is moving to Omaha, Nebraska from Alabama. So that is going to be so much closer for me to see him. And I am so excited about that. That's going to be great. It'll still be about 4.5 hours, but it's better than 24 or whatever the heck that is. Okay, C3PO, all gold leg, Charles Schultz. Now, that's one that I noticed in the 80s. It went from a T to without the T. And I remember that was another stare one where I was looking at the newspaper and I'm like, that's just not right. I just, I'm like, what happened to the T? Now, this is one that people don't mention one very much, but Fidel Castro died a long time for me. I mean, he should have been dead already. Or if he has died recently, it was that he died way before. Yeah, Sharkey. It was Chuck E. Cheese for me, and I took my kids there. It was Chuck E. period cheese. Do you want to go to Chuck E. Cheese? I would always say. Yeah, Castro. I mean, a lot of people don't even talk about that one, but he definitely died a long time ago for me. Okay, so the Lindbergh baby was never found for me, and it was a boy. Some people say it's a girl now. Village People did not have that extra member, that army guy. It was always Celebrate This Thing Called Life by Prince. Eli Whitney was black. The Matrix line definitely had What If I Told You? Was Gervais definitely had Fly My Pretties Fly. Last Supper painting is stupid. Not anything like it used to be. Now the Challenger, there's something weird about the Challenger explosion, and my uncle worked on the tiles of the space shuttle, you guys, in Florida. And but the dates are weird about that. There's something odd about the Challenger, and plus people think they're still alive, and it does look like they are. Maybe we just switched to a different reality where they are. I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah, Jonah, it doesn't say What If I Told You anymore in the Matrix. So I don't know about Louis Farrakhan, Colleen. Okay, let me go through the chat a little bit before I go on to my other ones. I love Shawshank, Charles. Is there something different about Shawshank other than did he have a little mouse or something? Now, I can't be sure on that one. I've heard people talk about that, but I don't really know. Okay, so Tinkerbell always did her little thing at the beginning of Disney movies that she doesn't do anymore. Lazy Boy is one for me. It didn't ever say Lazy Boy. That's another stare one where I just stared at the sign. I'm like, I wonder why they went to the trouble to change that. Nagazima flip-flopped for me. I've already discussed that a lot. Had the Z in the 70s. Then it was early 2016. I saw it without the Z and thought, guess they dropped it. And then all of a sudden it has the Z again. The Dime. The President on the Dime. Houdini drowned. Definitely for me. That's a fun one for me to ask people. Like I asked my friend because he's affected, but he just has a poor memory about certain things. And I'm like, how did Houdini die? He's like, oh, he drowned. And I'm like, yes. Oh, shoot, I'm buffering. Okay, hopefully it'll come back. Can you guys hear me all right? Okay, good. It looks like you might be able to. Yeah, the fallen astronaut thing is weird. For sure. Don't they have something on the moon now? They never had that before. Can you guys hear me okay? So I was buffering. I'm just making sure that you guys can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. Good. It's okay now. All right. All right. So yeah, the fallen. I need to write that down in my logbook too because that's definitely a new thing for me. That was never. Yeah, they've got some little monument thing on the moon now, Kathy. So that's new. Definitely new. And I don't. Even the astronauts they have on there, I don't remember them dying, but that's not 100%er for me. But the thing on the moon is definitely 100%er for me. I don't know, Jonah, what it says in the Matrix movie now, but I know it doesn't say that. So, all right. That Black Tom thing never took place in my old reality. Tweedledee and Tweedledum had propellers, not flags. For the Loom had a cornucopia. Used to say objects in mirror may be closer than they appear, not are closer. California Dreamin' song, it was always began to pray. It was never pretend, and that irritates me to no end. Vaseline, I have a dual memory on. I think because it's probably been with the E for such a long time with me that, hi, Jemima, wonderful. And wonderful to see you this morning. Jonah, you put Thinkerbell. That's funny. Okay, let's see. And of course, North Pole always had an ice cap. Now, I wrote down Elementary, My Dear Watson on this, but I don't think I've seen anybody talk about that. That must not be a thing anymore. Tony Tiger's nose was never blue. That's stupid looking. Okay, also, I have a different memory that I have not heard a lot of people talk about Tesla. I, for one, remember that his name was Nikolai, not Nikola, and that he died before 1900. That is my memory of Tesla. And so I've seen other people say that they agreed with that, but not a whole bunch of people talk about that one. But that is my memory, is that it was Nikolai, and he died like when he blew up his hotel or whatever he was staying at. That's when he died for me in my old memory. So if you guys have any of that, let me know. A. Garner says, why would it say may? Well, I don't know why, but that's what it said. It said may be closer than they appear. I mean, that's even what it said in the Jurassic Park movie. And that's what made it such a funny joke. Objects may be closer than they appear, and then all of a sudden there's this big old dinosaur chasing you. Okay, Picard never had that stupid crystal. Turmeric was turmeric. Bruce Springsteen had a bandana, not that dumb cap. Shaggy had an Adam's apple. Roy Orbison was blind. These are all, see, Target had more rings to it. You know, more, I think at least one more, a red ring around it. Alaska Airlines was Alaskan Airlines with an N. Mike Tyson ripped off Holyfield's ear. I mean, like really bad. Judge Judy did have a gavel. I mean, you guys, that was her whole thing on that show, was her banging that gavel, and she doesn't do that anymore. That's crazy. Yeah, Kathy, they say that Roy Orbison just wore his glasses because he liked the look of it, or that he was sensitive to light, or some stupid crap. He was blind. He was blind in my reality. Okay, let's see. 1932. Huh. That's interesting, Charles. Yeah, Jemima, like, I think a lot of us are about 80% with each other. But like even with money bags, I don't agree with, I'm about 80% with money bags. Because like he remembers Caesar CEA, and it's always been CAE for me, for sure, 100% on that. Okay, let's me go down my list. Curious George definitely had a tail. Mickey Mouse definitely did not have a tail. I can't read my writing on this. What in the heck? I don't know what that says. Niagara was spelled Niagara for me. And it was Coke Zero, not Coca-Cola Zero. I remember that happened for me probably in 2014-15 as well. Because I'm like, why did they change that? What was the point of that? They definitely ran over the guy in Tiananmen Square. I mean, that's not something that you forget. You know, when you see it, when it happened, you know, not live necessarily, but, you know, that day or the next day or whatever on the news, and you see something like that on the news, that's not something you forget. Yeah, I remember Pepsi Clear, Colleen. Yeah, Jemima, I'm not sure about the whole Billie Holiday and Bojangles stuff. That's not one that um, that I'm that I have a clear memory on. Joner, oh, I forgot you lived in Sweden. Yeah, that doesn't look right, does it? And also, Germany used to be landlocked. So there's something odd about that whole thing. And I'm sure for you, it's even more pronounced. You should tell us a little bit more about what your memories are on that. There's no more Cuervo Gold. What? He's called Mr. Jingles? Jemima? Let's see. Okay. Jim Henson died of cancer a long time ago, not recently or whenever he did. Richard Chamberlain died of AIDS a long time ago in the 80s. Shirley Temple died at 10. Thanksgiving used to be on the third Thursday. Carmen Sandiego had a yellow jacket, not a red one. Mussolini looks totally different. I can't remember exactly what he looks like, but when I look at a picture of him, it doesn't even look like him at all. Let's see. The VW logo used to be all together and not separated. Definitely was spelled DEFINATELY. Ed McMahon was definitely Publishers Clearinghouse, 1,000% on that. I have written down Mr. Bubbles, but I'm not sure what the reference is. Let's see. What's going on with, I need to go back in the chat here. Okay, so Jonah, you do say that you remember Germany being landlocked as well. And I can't believe there's no Cuervo Gold. That's crazy. Just scrolling down here. So Shirley Temple lived for you, Kathy. Okay. Yeah. Some people are just going to have to. Hi, Suso. Great. Gosh, what are you doing up so early this morning? Or maybe you didn't go to sleep yet. All right. Let's go down to some more. Pennzoil used to be with one N. It used to be Tostinos with an S. Cheez-Its is weird for me because I think I have like a triple memory on that. Capricorn was not a mermaid goat. We already discussed Chuck E. Cheese, but that was next on my list. Now, Andrew Zimmerman is weird because I had just learned of the Mandela Effect. Well, I mean, of course, I've had it forever, but I didn't learn what. Hi, Subliminals Angel. Good to see you this morning. But I had learned that it was a thing. You know, I mean, I'd seen these changes forever, but I learned that that it was a thing. And Andrew Zimmerman, like, even while I was learning about the Mandela, it was still Zimmerman. And then like 2 days later, it changed to Zimmern. And I got up off the couch looking at the TV guide thingy. I'm like, what? It's so stupid, Zimmern. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Hi, GPK. Good morning. Okay, so some other ones. I think There's a Snake in My Boot has switched back, thank God. That was so stupid. There's a snake in my boots. That doesn't even make sense. And of course, Lucy said, Desi said, you've got some explaining to do. I cannot believe that's not a thing anymore. That is just, oh, what does Andrew need prayers for? What's going on? I didn't see that. Oh, guys, can you repeat it? I can't go up. Well, Andrew, let's see, Andrew. Your friend Logan. Oh. Definitely will be praying. Scott Harrison almost awake. My goodness. You know, it's 5:37 a.m. my time. What is it? Like almost 1 o'clock. You must be a night owl. Okay. Obviously, hello, Clarice. Now I have O'Reilly's written down. I think it's because it used to be an apostrophe S, and now isn't it just O'Reilly? And same with Sally's Beauty. Used to have an apostrophe S. And also Joanne's Fabrics used to have an apostrophe S, and all those don't have those anymore. Dr. Doolittle. I remember, now this happened for me in the 90s. This is one where I can pinpoint because, I was in the kids section with my kids, and I remember seeing that it was not DOO anymore and thinking, what? I was so confused. All these should have made me wake up a lot sooner, I think, to what was going on. But let's see. Marilyn Monroe had a fuller figure, and for me, she died in a hotel, not in her little apartment. She was in a hotel for me. What about you guys on that one? Rationale says the ground is covered in ice, and it was 80 degrees yesterday. Oh my gosh. Scott says he wonders if life will ever be a box of chocolates. I don't know. Oh, thank you, Colleen. Thank you for saying that. Okay, and let's see. Cheetos. It had an H. I don't think it has an H now, right? Is that what it is? Used to be daylight savings time. Now it's daylight saving time. Used to be Cliff Notes, not Cliff's Notes. That's weird that some of them gain apostrophe S's and some of them lose apostrophe S's. Hitler had brown eyes. Used to be Smithsonian Institute. Tom Cruise definitely had sunglasses, 1000%. I have written down Van de Kamp's, but is it just Van de Kamp now? I'm not really sure on that one, or what that one. Let's see. Bee Gees' song was I Really Need to Know, not I Really Need to Learn. That didn't even sound right at all. Winona Ryder is a flip flop for me. Was definitely WI. Then it went to WY. Now it's WINO. Leonard Skinner didn't have all those N or Y's in it. It was LYNARD, SKYNARD. Joan or I had to tell night stories for kitties. Well, I used to read to my boys all the time. Okay, so Jemima, you're saying a hotel too. Yeah, she definitely died in a hotel for me. So it's kind of freaky when I found out that in this reality she didn't. Dolly had braces for sure. So. Hi Sharkticon. Harry Shark, as MA calls you. Oh gosh, I can't keep up with the chat now. So who has blue shorts and an orange shirt? Huh. Shoot, I cannot keep up with the chat now. Okay. Let me go back to my list. Wendy's, she had braids for sure. Chewbacca definitely got a medal. I'm 1,000,000% sure on that for me. Procter and Gamble was definitely spelled with an O, Proctor. I mean, I lived in Cincinnati. That's where Procter and Gamble's headquarters were. I was so confused when they started spelling it with an E. I'm like, what? Why? I mean, and all their patents show an O. So, used to be Hillshire Farms, plural, not S. Phillips Lights used to be with 2 L's, not one. The song Dream On, that's the song I walked out to for my high school graduation. It definitely was Years and Tears, not Year and Tear. Yeah, Rationality. Wendy, it's just pigtails. It's not braids now. A. Garner, you said you're confused by the comments on the different realities. That's just kind of what we call it, is when we think we're shifting into different when, like the Wendy's, the fast food chain, subliminal angel. Oh yeah, definitely it was Portrait of Dorian Gray, WBK. Definitely Portrait for me. I was confused on that too. I mean, that's a classic book title. Why would they change that, you know? And it was a portrait, it wasn't a picture. Oh, Wendy's is a fast food chain. Here it's like McDonald's kind of. And so she's always had braids for me. But now she just has pigtails, and they say she's never had braids. Yeah, that's one. um I know it was never a picture because it wasn't a photograph. Of course, maybe in this reality, that's what they're saying, that it was a photograph, because apparently photographs existed way before. Yeah, she 100% had braided pigtails for sure. Yeah. No, it was Wendy's, the fast food chain. I guess you might, if you don't live in the United States, you might not have it. I always like to get the frosty and a chili there. That was what I always got when I went to Wendy's. They don't say I got no privacy anymore in that one song. That's one. It was always thanks for the memories, plural, not memory. Joel Osteen had an L. Hadron Collider had an L. Somebody check Pippi Longstocking. Yeah, if she didn't have braids, that's going to flip me out too. President's Park never existed. Never in my world heard about that. Franz Ferdinand, the World War I, didn't have a bomb. Pikachu definitely had a black tip tail. Lowe's was a flip flop. Went from Lowe's with apostrophe to not to back with it. Chick-fil-A was definitely spelled CHIC because I was so irritated with that spelling. Oh my gosh, I was irritated with that spelling. I was like, Chick-fil-A. I just, every time I'd go buy that, I mean, even though I love the food, it was just like, why did they spell it that way? Gym Neighbors died a long time ago for me. I know there's some that I didn't write down. What do I have? Oh, no World War II attacks on Oregon that I ever heard of. Kirk Douglas died a long time ago. Jerry Van Dyke. Well, he died recently, but he had died a long time ago, and also Dick Van Dyke had died a long time ago, and he's still alive. Marshmallow was spelled Mellow. Rod Sterling, I've already talked about that. I saw that one in the 80s. Phil Collins, it was always Hold On. It was never Oh Lord. I loved Pippi Longstocking. I love that book, and I love that movie in the 70s. Jemima. Let's see. Ringo Starr died a long time ago for me because they had to get a replacement for Thomas the Train. I already talked about it used to be Alec Trebek. Kikamon is a change for me. The swastika is a flip-flop. You know, the way it is now is correct, but it had flipped the other way and then back to correct. The Birth of Venus painting used to be an open shell, not just standing on the shell. Dallas, Texas, it's totally in the wrong spot. Alaska didn't have that little weird jetty outy thingy in the on the western side of it. Okay, and then yeah, a lot of people remember Tim Curry dying. I'm not really sure on that one for me. So, Susu, that's interesting that it was CHIK for you. Huh. Yeah, I know. Yeah, there seems to be, there's like 3 different ones with the C, with the K, and with the CK. Yeah, Billy Graham died for me 3 times. Well, I know I didn't write some down and some I skipped over because I couldn't remember what I was referencing as far as what it, I didn't know if, you know, the way it is now, so. So has anybody seen any new ones lately as far as, or did anything interesting come up on Mandela Monday on Scarabs or, you know, MA or Scott say anything interesting last night? Because I missed all 3. I'm so upset that I missed, I was so tired. I just crashed on the couch last night. So you remember that about Ringo too? Good. Yeah. Well, I only knew it because, you know, my kids loved Thomas the Train. And I knew they had to get a new person. So even though it's April here, it's still pretty cold. I'm still keeping track of all my, and I starting with April. I'm going to keep track of my, because I had just been doing as an indicator, a shift indicator. I had been just doing high temperatures, but I'm going to keep track of low temperatures too this month, which I hadn't been doing. So, but that temperature thing really works, you guys. I mean, it worked 3 times for me in March. I had 3 days that were 17-degree differences. 17 degrees. I mean, that's huge. I mean, that's not a mistake. For me, it was Carry On My Wayward Son. Why is it Carry On Wayward Son now? Hmm. Yeah, it switched. I think it switched in the 90s for me from Thomas the Train to all of a sudden it was Thomas the Tank Engine. Yeah, it was My Wayward Son for me too, Shaktikan. Yeah, I thought it was a heart attack too, Scott. He's saying Ringo died of a heart attack, is what I thought too. But I can't be sure. I just know that he died. Hi, Brandon. Bye, Joner. Great to see you here this morning. Bye, Subliminals Angel. So, Scott, did you see anything earth shattering in your broadcast last night? I didn't get to hear. I mean, I'm going to go back and listen to it, but I didn't get a chance to listen to it yet. Hi, Dean. Let's see. Yeah, Thomas and Friends. Yeah, it seems like there's 3 things: Thomas and Friends, Thomas the Tank Engine, and Thomas the Train. It's just uh, my kids had all those too, and the train tracks and everything. Does anybody know who's supposed to come on after me? Yeah, Chewbacca definitely got a medal. There's no question. I mean, he had to bow low down to get it. I don't know the Freckle Rock song. Huh. There's some things like, I should know which island originally the Statue of Liberty on was for me, but I don't know. I mean, I think it was Ellis Island, but that's one that I can't really say for sure. So I never say that one for as a Mandela for me because I just don't know for sure. They don't say fragile rock, do they? Instead of fraggle? That would be weird. I know. I love asking kids, Brandon. You asked your 3-year-old because, I don't ask my niece about Mandela's necessarily yet. She's 6; she'll be 7 soon. But I did ask her about the blue black dress and the white gold dress. That's interesting. I'd like to see what you guys say on that. What do you see when you look at the dress? Because my niece doesn't have any form of reverence for it or anything. And anyway, she saw it the way I saw it. But before I see what, or tell you what I see when I see the dress, what do you guys see? Do you see the blue and the black, or do you see white and gold? That's an interesting one too that I think possibly has to do with people who can spell the Mandela and stuff like that. No one's going to tell me what. Maybe it's just a delay. Do you know the dress, the internet dress that I'm talking about? blue and gold for you, Scott. Most people either say blue and black or white and gold. 5:55 here in the Mountain Time Zone. Jemima, I see white and gold too. And my niece saw white and gold, but my mom sees blue and black. Ronnie, you see blue and black. I know, it's so strange, isn't it? I think it has something to do with our eyes. The rods and the cones just, I don't know. Yeah, my mom and one of my sisters sees blue and black, and my niece and I and my other sister see white and gold. Oh, Kathy, it's just this internet dress sensation thing where just look up blue, black, white, gold dress and it'll come up and see what. Uh, yeah, I see gold, white and gold too, Suso. I've always been a 50 stater, Brandon. And so in your reality, Puerto Rico is a state. That's interesting. Corey, you were able to see both? Hmm. Yeah, a lot of people can see both. I can't do that. Like they'll see it as white and gold first, and then somebody will say it's blue and black, and then it can change to blue and black for them. I've never been able to do that. I'll have to look at that pink gray or green gray trainers. Hmm. Yeah, Corey, a lot of people say that it changes to blue and black for them. It's never been able to. Now, I do see the white sometimes as maybe a light gray, but for me, it's always white and gold. It's just that's what it is. For me, it was marshmallow with Mellow. Always. It was never Mallow for me, Charles. Okay, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and go. Let you maybe get a bathroom break before you go on to the next person. I'll leave the chat open for a little while. I'm going to turn the audio off. I hope everybody has a great day or evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye bye.